Good afternoon, parents. Mr. Harrison here. Today is Monday, November 18th. Tomorrow, we have a math testing class, and I want to give you guys some help and prepare your students to be successful on this test. Many of our students had challenges with distributive property multiplication, and who can blame them? Look at this. This could be confusing. I mean, when I first did it, it was confusing. So what I did was I broke it down into 6 steps that the kids can follow to solve this problem here. Okay, it's simple. It's all about breaking apart the math problem. So I broke it into 6 steps. Step 1 is identify the factor you want to break apart by circling the number. Step 2, break apart the factor by finding 2 numbers that will equal the factor when added. Step 3, put each number on the first line in the parentheses. Step 4, put the other factor on the second line in each parenthesis. Do not break apart the second factor. Step 5, multiply what is in each parenthesis. Step 6, add the product of both parentheses. And step 7, you will find your answer. So we're going to work this out together. You're going to watch me do this. And we're going to do another problem where the numbers are both odd and show you guys how to break that apart. When we have a number like 4 and 5, it's pretty easy. Okay, I would recommend breaking apart the even number because it's easy to break apart. You can make doubles. When we have 4, 2 doubled is 4, so it's 2 and 2. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to identify first the factor I want to break apart, and then I'm going to circle that number just to tell me I am breaking apart that number. So I'm going to circle 4 because that's the number I'm going to break apart. Now that I did step 1, I'm going to break apart the factor, which is these 2 numbers are factors. I'm going to break apart the factor that I circled and find 2 numbers that will equal that factor when added. So I'm going to break it apart and put 2 and 2. Okay, so that's real easy. 2 double is 4. 2 plus 2 is 4. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put each number on the first line in each parentheses. So I'm going to put the 2 here, and I'm going to put the 2 there. Okay, one goes in one parenthesis, the other goes in the other. Step 4, then I'm going to put the other factor on the second line in the parentheses. Here's the second line, and here is the other factor. It says here, do not break apart the second factor. So I'm not breaking this apart. I'm just going to simply bring this 5 here and bring this 5 here. After that, I'm going to multiply what is in each parentheses. 2 times 5 equals 10. 2 times 5 equals 10. Step 6. Add the product of both parentheses. 10 plus 10 equals 20. So my answer, step 7, is 20. So I can put 20 here. I can put 20 here. And there I have my answer. This is distributive property of multiplication. But there are times when we have numbers that are odd. Even numbers are easier to break apart. Odd numbers, not so easy. So what I did was I have another problem with the same exact steps. 5 times 7. Okay, 2 odd numbers, challenging to break apart, but it can still be done the same way. Step 1, I'm going to identify the factor I want to break apart. I'm going to break apart the 5. Okay, now I'm going to identify 2 numbers when added that will give me 5. So I'm going to break apart the factor by finding 2 numbers that will equal the factor when added. This factor is 5. I'm going to choose 2 plus 3. 2 plus 3 equals 5. So now what I'm going to do is step 3, put each number on the first line in each parentheses. So 2, 3. Step 4, I'm going to put the other factor on the second line in each parentheses. I will not break apart that factor. So here's the other factor. I'm just going to simply bring that factor here and bring that factor here. Step 5 tells me multiply what is in each parentheses. 2 times 7 equals 14. 3 times 7 equals 21. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add these two sums, or these two products, to get the answer. So 14 plus 21 is 35. So 5 times 7 equals 35. And there you have it. This is distributive property or multiplication in a nutshell. Please show this to your students tonight. If they have any trouble, you can do this with any multiplication problem or any single digit multiplication problem. I wouldn't recommend going over 9. So 1 through 9, you can do this. And if you want to give them practice, give them some multiplication problems with single digit numbers. Put the two parentheses that has multiplication in each. Then add them just like you see it here. And allow them to practice tonight so that they can be prepared for tomorrow's test. All right? Everybody have a good night. We're in this together. Have a good night.